What's hanging, Venomaniacs? My name is Orion, aka Orion Starboy. I'm the host and showrunner of We Are Venomaniacs, which is the Venom Site's official podcast for all your symbiote news, reviews, and point of views. And today I'm doing something a little bit different for you. We're doing a product review, a bit of an unboxing, because this is something that's really different. Probably not a lot of people are going to know about it. So I just wanted to maybe give it a highlight, see if you guys are interested. I'm definitely really excited about this. So what we have today is the Toys Era Premium Edition 1/6 scale, the Parasitic figure. This is basically the Eddie Brock from the Venom movie played by Tom Hardy figure. You might have seen some photos of this hanging around the internet. The final product finally came out, and it's going to be really exciting. So let's go ahead and open this up. Just a little bit of background information though. You can get this at gianttoy.com. It retails for the figure alone at around $149.99 US dollars. There's also a collector's limited edition, which is the one I got, that comes with the figure and a display, which I will show a little bit later. That retails for about $289.99 US dollars. So with that, let's just go ahead and open this up. You get a little bit of a view of what's going on with the cover here. It's really hard to pick up on the camera because it's just so dark, but there's a nice little V here, some symbiote effects. Here's the side of the box. Another side, top of the box, same as the bottom, and then here's the back of the box. And if I can get the lighting just right, you can kind of see right here you have a Venom face, which is really cool. All right, let's open this bad boy up. So it has a bit of a protective cover here. And immediately we're met by none other than Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. Now this figure comes with only a few accessories, and I don't believe it comes with its own stand. No, it doesn't come with its own stand. So if you're a 6 scale figure collector, you probably know that it's good to have a figure stand for your figures because they're not always very stable on their own, just standing. So I might have to invest in getting a figure stand for Mr. Brock here if all else fails. But let's take a look at him. So he comes with, here's the figure himself. We'll go ahead and unwrap him. Already things are falling off. All right, his arm's a bit bent the wrong way, so we'll bend that right. All right, here we go. Try to get this in some light for you. I apologize, I don't have a professional studio to do this in, so you have to just deal with my kitchen lighting. So he does come equipped with authentic cloth clothing. These aren't real jeans. They're just regular cloth. They're not really, denim. But that's fine. I think denim would be a bit too difficult to work with on this scale. But this is Eddie Brock with his iconic, hooded look. Definitely, if customizers are interested, you could always kind of weather him a bit, make him look a little bit more sweaty like he does in the movie. But I'm just happy with it. Now, I'll note with my figure, I don't know if this is just a production quality thing, but he does have here and there little kind of holes in his sweater. Like there's one here, and there's one right here. There's one on the sleeve too. Don't know if that's some quality control issues. There's also kind of a loose thread right below the pocket. You can kind of see it right here. So, I mean, for a third-party figure, it's not too bad. You know, this isn't really official. I don't think they really. This was made in China, so I don't think it's really sanctioned by Marvel or licensed, or I don't know how that works, but it definitely got his likeness very well. Like, definitely looks like Tom Hardy. Now, I will note that he has more of a beard than he does in the movie. In the movie, he kind of has more stubble. You know, it's a bit after, you know, like 5 o'clock shadow kind of thing going on. Whereas this figure has more of a substantial kind of beard going on. But, you know, that it's what we work with, you know, for a third party figure. It's fine, you know. Paint application looks pretty good. He even comes with his bracelets and stuff that he has in the movie. So that's a nice little detail. Let's see if I can get him to stand on his own. That's probably as good as we're going to get. Let's go ahead and talk about some articulation then. We're going to test his head first. Right now we have side to side. We don't really, well, we have a little bit of down here, about that far. And we have a bit of up, about that far. And of course you have your side to sides. Now, as a note, if you haven't collected 6-scale figures before, they're not really meant for a lot of play. So you want to be careful handling him too much. They tend to be very fragile with the joints and stuff. Also the clothing, you want to be careful with the clothing. And let's test the arms. He has his kind of ball jointed arms going on here. Let's test his, kind of has almost a ratcheted elbow movement here. Goes about that far. You can twist his hands. Let me see, is there a, yeah, there seems to be, we can kind of tilt his hands about this much and that much. You want to be careful with this hand since it does have his bracelet. Don't want to break that. Same story on this side. Swivel it. Of course, like I said, be very careful about the sweater, the clothing. You don't want to rip it. Let's test. He does have a bit of an ab crunch. He can lean left and right. Let's try and move his leg forward about that far. And this far back. Knees about that far back. And then his shoes, his feet here. So they kind of tilt forward about that far, tilt back about that far. And they, of course, swivel around. Now, his feet are kind of a silicone or rubbery substance, so it's a nice texture to it. It's nothing too fancy. No straps that you have to deal with. It's all molded, so that's really nice. All right, so let's go ahead and sit him upright. Get him nice and posed. We'll set him aside for a moment. Make sure we get that so he doesn't fall. Now let's look at what he comes with. He comes with three pairs of hands. He has his closed fists on right now. He has these kind of opened claw-like hands. Then he has his holding hands, I call, which are kind of like fists but slightly open as if to hold something. I'm not entirely sure what he's supposed to be holding because he doesn't come with any accessories to hold. So really it's whatever you can buy or have on hand that works for a 6scale action figure. He comes with an extra head. Which is the half-face Venom and Eddie Brock head. Now I'll note that in the photos for this figure, I was worried because it looks like his beard on his half head looked darker than what he has on his just regular Eddie Brock head. Now, I'm happy to report that it is the same coloration, but of course that kind of still throws me off because he doesn't really have this kind of beard in the movie. It's all stubble. But still, it's very nice detail. Some great applications for the paint. And I don't know if you can pick this up, but if you look at Venom's teeth here, you have an inner row which is closed, but then there's a bit of an outer row, top and bottom, that are kind of open, so it gives it kind of a 3D effect. It's very interesting, but it's also very movie accurate, so I like that. That's one of the things I love about figures, is if they're movie accurate, or show accurate, or whatever, because I like to have it to look like I have the actual actor or the actual character posed somewhere in my collection. So that's the half head. And then finally, he comes with something a little special, which is this venomized arm. And this is for his left arm. And we're going to go ahead and try to put this on. I think I'm going to pose him with this as well when I display him, because this is kind of cool. I don't think I'm going to display him with the half head. I kind of like his regular head. So let's go ahead and try to get this arm on. Now this is going to be interesting. It's the lower half of his arm, so it's his forearm plus his hand. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to slip his sleeve up to his elbow, if I can. It'd be nice if it came with some instructions, but I think it's pretty straightforward what you're supposed to do with this. Gotta be very careful. You don't want to, again, manhandle the clothing too much. I think we're not going to be able to get that far, so what I'm going to do is, it is a bit of a tricky thing, isn't it? I'm going to see if, oh, interesting. So, his sweater is removable, and he has a kind of dark blue undershirt going on here. So that's interesting, too. Put his hood down a bit. I'll figure it out, so I might fast forward past this part while I figure it out.
Oh, Jesus!
All right, success at last. So yeah, I ended up having to take off part of his sweater, just pull it up a bit, then pull his upper arm out of it, slide his lower arm into it until it's stuck out of it, put it on again, snap the two arms together and get this situated just right, put the hand back on, and at last, the hand stays on kind of weakly. It's a very small ball joint, but that's perfectly fine as we're not going to be manhandling this too much. Just get it posed. You know what? I kind of want a different hand for the right hand. So let's go with one of his, see, you gotta watch out for his little bracelet. You're taking off his right hand. So let's go ahead and do his crazy open hand like he does in his apartment scene when Venom first reveals himself. Because that is hilarious. Tom Hardy did a absolutely phenomenal performance as Eddie Brock and Venom. If you didn't know it, he is the voice of Venom in the movie as well. A little bit of trivia there for those who didn't know. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I saw it 4 times in theaters myself and saw it countless times since. It's definitely down as one of my favorite movies of all time, up there with Lord of the Rings. And I gotta tell you right now, it almost seems like the hole in the hand is smaller than the actual ball joint here. So we're going to really work at this. So give me one moment. Yep, so caution there. It's a bit of a tight fit when you're first putting on the hand. Probably will be, but luckily the plastic is malleable. So you just have to really work at it. All right. And there you go. Kind of recreating the scene from the movie where Venom's hand kind of shows up on his. Although in the movie, Venom's hand is a lot bigger, beefier than this kind of slender and more sinister looking hand. But, you know, it works. It works. I like it. Alrighty, so then moving on, like I said, I got the Deluxe edition, which came with a special stand. Move them over for just a moment, as well as accessories. Now, this Deluxe piece doesn't come with its own kind of decorative box like the figure does, so it's just this random shipping box. And inside the shipping box is a styrofoam clamshell, and if you're a statue collector, you're familiar with this kind of thing. When I decided to get this figure, because there's not really any Venom movie figures out right now, I'll go over that in a little bit, but when I decided to get this figure and they were offering this special stand, I had to get it because, you know, it's special. And it really works well, I think, with the figure from what the pictures show. Ta-da. And then we just carefully open it up. And here it is. Let's unwrap the plastic. Find the opening, wherever it may be. Feels like the bottom. And really handle it carefully. It feels like it's kind of made of plastic, a hard kind of plastic, but still you have some tendrils and stuff hanging off here, so you just want to be very careful. Very careful. Just carefully peel it off, like so. Until we have it. And here we have a Venom symbiote. Now, I kind of like this bad boy. This is pretty cool. I'll note that the symbiote head part kind of looks like, oh, it's definitely posable. That's cool. So there's a little bit of rotation going on here, a tiny bit of up and down. There's also tiny little Venom heads. There's one kind of right up here that you can kind of see. Yeah, you can kind of see it up there. There's one a little bit lower, right there. There's one more right down here. And like I was saying, this Venom head kind of looks like the Eddie Brock half head if it wasn't half a head. Even has that teeth thing going on that I mentioned, where it has the outer row and then the inner row. But really nice, accessory here. You can kind of tell, I don't know if you'll be able to pick this up in the camera, but I can tell where they had the seam for when they connected the pieces together. It's kind of organic though, so it blends in sort of well. But the point of this stand is to pose with your Eddie Brock figure, kind of like so. Get him to stand up right. And this might also help stand the figure up. So you can lean it back against this thing and it will stay up. But there you have it. This is the Toys Era Premium Edition 1/6 scale, the Parasitic figure, along with the limited edition display piece. And again, the whole package retails for about $289.99 USD. There's also on the Giant Toy website, I think it's also by Toys Era, there is the Poison figure, which is a Venom 6 scale figure, just full Venom, but it's not based on the movie version, nor is it really based on the comic book version. It's almost looks something kind of like the Spider-Man 3 Venom, where it has the kind of web patterns on it, but it's a very stylized type of figure. It has a very distinct white spider symbol on the chest and has the patches on the hands, I believe. I'm gonna skip that one because I'm holding out for a more comic accurate figure or a movie accurate figure, which so far there are no plans or no rumors yet of one. But there we have. Sorry about that. It seems like my phone ran out of memory while I was mid-sentence there. I was saying that this is the Toys R Us Premium Edition figure. Retails at about $289.99 USD. It's really nice. I kind of like it. Definitely, this is my first Venom-related 6 scale figure. And it's nice that we have just an Eddie Brock figure too. So I love it. It's awesome. Now, in regards to official Venom movie merchandise, there's not much out there. Possibly it's because of the whole Sony and Marvel thing going on. There's just not much merchandise out there that you can get for a Venom movie. I know for a fact that there's, of course, the retro action figure, which came with, here in the United States, it was like the Walmart Blu-ray edition. It's just this tiny little plastic and rubbery Venom action figure that had detachable arms or whatever. It's nice for what it is. And then in Germany, I know there was a really cool Venom versus Riot statue that was released for the Blu-ray Collector's Edition. That never came out here in the United States, and I'd love to get my hands on that at some point, but it's probably pretty expensive. And then finally, coming soon, there's going to be the Hot Toys Cosbaby Venom figures. There's 3 coming. They kind of look like Funko Pops, but they're not quite like that. I don't even know how big they are. They might be about yay tall from off the table. They're apparently magnetic too, so that'll be cool to see. There's 3 versions, like I said. There's the regular movie Venom looking one. There's one that is similar to that, but has, I think, a different kind of metallic paint application going on. And then there's one that's half head Eddie Brock. So I'll definitely be picking those up, since those are kind of the first official Venom movie merchandise coming out. I was disappointed because I think it was New York Comic Con or even San Diego Comic Con where Hot Toys and Sideshow Collectibles revealed the first 6-scale Venom figure, and it wasn't even Venom. It was Venom Pool, which is Deadpool and Venom, and it was the Marvel Contest of Champions mobile game version. And I was just super disappointed because it's like, this is the first Venom figure being released 6 scale, and they chose Venom Pool, and I have my own reservations against Venom Pool. I don't like Deadpool mixing with Venom, but that's just me. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing if there's any other cool Venom 6-scale action figures coming out. Like I said, I'm not going to get the Poison one from Toys Era because it just doesn't suit me very well. But yeah, I say this is a really nice figure for what it's worth. If you want, you can get, like I said, the figure itself without the base here for retailing about $149.99 USD. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty great. So I say final words. I give this let's say 3.5, 4 symbiotes out of 5. If we're gonna use that kind of rating system. Yeah. So good marks. So with that, I'm going to end this review. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I'm with We Are Venomaniacs, which is the Venom Site's official podcast. We are currently in the midst of recording a weekly special covering Absolute Carnage from Marvel Comics. So I say tune in if you'd like. If you're interested at all in anything symbiote, we do a lot of comic reviews, merchandise reviews, movie reviews, all of that stuff. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes, Google Play Music, and YouTube. Also, we're on PodBean as well. That's where our main host is. Yeah, it's super fun, and I hope you enjoyed this review.